Hello, this is the right Jason, and today I'm talking about Adobe XD for beginners. How do you navigate this thing? Is it too basic? Where are all the features? Let's dive in and talk about why Adobe XD is the tool for you. So if you haven't watched my What is Adobe XD video, you might want to pause this one and go check that one out first because I give you a little bit of a dive into the tools and some of the interface, and that'll help you navigate this thing. Adobe XD is my tool of choice for all of website design. I'm just going to rename this here. Let's go with, let's do something that's zoo, like a zoo website. And I'm going to do some talking and designing at the same time because I want to show you how easy and fluid this is. Now, I have experience using the tool, so there's that. Like I said, I have another video help you navigate some of the tools and the areas inside of Adobe XD. So for this purpose, we're going to talk about, how this is good for you as a beginner. Maybe you're just starting out in design. Maybe you're just a beginner in XD. So what I really like is just how fluid the tool is. It's very fast and it's easy to use. I like to kind of get a lay of the land here and figure out what colors I want to use and kind of set some baselines for things. So I'm just going to pick that color. I'm going to go ahead and save it to my properties here. Let's go ahead and build a couple headlines. Let's say to welcome to the New York Zoo of awesomeness. Awesomeness. All right, let's go ahead and take that guy, drag this up here. Let's break this. Ah, man, I don't really want to separate these two lines, but we'll see. Let's go ahead and open that up a little bit more. Center this. You can see that I'm doing this very quickly. Now, yes, I know I got experience here. I'm not going to play with the fonts too much. Just stick with something standard. Let's go ahead and get a photo in here to kind of help us visualize things. And I just do that by making a box. Let's get rid of the border since that's always added by default. And let's grab, what should we grab? Okay, here we go. So we've got this nice close-up shot. We're going to go ahead and bring this back here. And I'm going to fill this whole space. And boy, that is really in your face, isn't it? All right, let's take that, copy, paste, I duplicated it. Now I'm being a little bit lazy here, but this really helps me get through all of this workload. Selecting all, send it back. Let's change this to white. For now, we might even make that bigger. I'm going to go ahead and save that character style. I'm going to save that color while I have that element selected. We're going to take this. Let's go ahead and save the black. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. And now let's bring this down. So now you can see that we're starting to take shape here. Let's go ahead and bring this up a little bit more. I think that's too low. There's some stuff that I want to do here. The zoo. Our zoo is now open to the public. And we're excited to have you back in. Let's just say excited to have you back. I can't see what I'm typing at this point, so we'll just stop there. All right, let's change this to fixed width. Move this over. Size this down. Now we're not doing anything crazy in here. I know this video is about, beginners, but what I hope you're gathering out of this is how simple this really is. So yeah, you got to learn about the tools, you got to navigate things, you got to understand, where things are located. But once you got that figured out, it's really not that bad. All right, let's make a treatment up here. Let's say New York Zoo. For some reason, I want to keep typing Zune. I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with me. All right, let's be a lazy designer here, and let's just see what we got. I want to go with something swoopy, you know, super design professional here. It's not the zoopy, swoopy, not Lord of the Rings. Now I could go find a unique font, but oh, here we go. That's playful. That's playful. All right, let's bring that up. Now, One thing to be careful of, and I make this mistake constantly. So I'm at 68% zoom. And what's tough about this is that you can easily design things in a way that are gigantic and not even realize it because you're just sitting there designing at 60% zoom the whole time. And then when the thing gets developed, you're like, dear God, man, why is the font so big? You need to scale that. And actually, it's your fault because you designed it wrong. Because you're not paying attention to your font sizes and whatnot in your screen zoom. And so that puts you in position of designing things way too big. So don't do that like me because I do it constantly. Let's go 44. Just using the guides there. 44. Okay. So really easy. Just got some type there. You got this here. Let's make some navigation. Okay. Let's do animals. And what I like to do for this is I like to separate these things. Let's go ahead and that's center. That's fine. Let's go animals, tickets, location, contact. All right, let's highlight, highlight. All right, now I'm going to center these guys here. Boom. Evenly divide the space. And let's take this font size way down. All right, that works. I'll go bring these closer. Let's go ahead and group them so we don't lose them. Now, this isn't by any means a final design. Obviously, we're doing a lot of playing here. I think what I'd rather do is change this to about because what I want to do is create a unique button here. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll go with a rounded button. We'll take this line height down a little bit, kind of tighten it up a little. All right, and then that's fine for now. Let's get the rectangle tool, draw a box. Looks pretty good. Center that. Let's make a pill. Why not? All right, let's go with our green. What does that look like? That's not too bad. It works for now. Let's copy. Get tickets. Okay. I'm probably going to change that. Let's change it to something that's more conducive of marketing results here. Let's do reserve tickets. Now, this is going to be a little too big. We also can't read it, so there's some things we got to do here. Let's go ahead and make that black. And let's size it down. Let's force caps. Okay, so you know, we haven't created like a whole design system and things like that. So we're just playing, right? We're doing a bunch of happy trees here. If you know that reference, leave a comment down below and let me know. I will highlight you on one of the next videos. All right, let's put this in here. Now, this is one of those situations where I can see right now, being at 50% zoom, we've got some sizing issues. And for this, I might change it up. Let's go ahead and do border. Let's do white. Let's take the fill off. Let's go maybe like that, get a nice thick border in there. Yeah, there we go. That's a little nicer, right? And let's just force caps in here and see what this looks like. And I don't like that as much. Kind of feels like you're screaming at me, which, who likes that? All right, let's create some even space there. We're up against that edge. And let's bring this up here a little bit more. All right, let's add some finishing touches here. Let's go ahead and do that. And we'll go ahead and send all that to back. So you can see I do a lot of dragging and selecting and highlighting and all of that. All right, let's do that. Let's do a little background blur maybe. Give it a little character. I always forget which one I select. Definitely not that one. Let's go. We might have to. Actually, that looks pretty good. Let's scale that up a little bit, maybe. Yeah, and this is really gonna blur that background out. So let's just do that. Okay, so you've got the beginnings of a home page here, right? And if we were continuing on, we'd do a lot more. If we size that down, we just change this to white. You might start getting into some content down here below. I'll group that so that's all together. And while we're at it, let's just go ahead and make this a component. So we have that saved. Perfect. So from here, like I said, you might have some text down below. And so go ahead and grab like this guy, paste. Let's put, it's time to come back to your local zoo and have some family fun. Now, you can't see that yet. I know. I know, I know, I know, I know. I know. Don't scream at me. Let's change that. So that color, it's not real friendly. I love it because it's like that minty kind of color. But for now, we can just do that. So this kind of shows you that there's some content down below. We'll go ahead and shrink this down a little bit more. And then we can create a box here. We'll go ahead and fill this with some kind of color. We'll bump that up. And all I want to do is create a box. So, this has been about, what, 15 minutes or so. And we have all of this like structure in place. And yeah, it's not perfect, but check out what we got in a short amount of time, and you would be fine tuning this. And so I did all this in less than 30 minutes, and we've already got the basis of a homepage to help us kind of work through the rest of all the other elements we want to create. Now, if you were going through here for real, there'd be a lot more detail that you're adding into these buttons. You might add some shadow or border, or you might do some other things that are playful here, change this up. We might take this, we go ahead and go, say, medium, to help that stand out. See, and you start getting some of those distinctions there. If this logo had an actual symbol with it, that would add to the character of this design. And when I'm working through a design, I'm always trying to create something that tells a story, beginning, middle, and end. I say this over and over and over in client meetings. And the story is a really important part of the design process. I mean, you want to tell a strong story to compel the user to take some kind of action. So this kind of gives you an overview of some of the tools and how I'm using them and how quickly I'm going with this. But if you came into this thinking that Adobe XD is too complicated or too minimal, I don't think I could use it. Hopefully this shows you that it can be very effective and there's so much more that you can do with it. You can create a hover state, so you just go over here, hit the plus, hover. All right, and now we can do some stuff here. We can go ahead and select this, and let's just change it to white. And we can leave that color there on the text. And so if we go into our prototype mode, boom, look at this, fills the screen. It's looking good. You got the animal in the background taking a nap, just looking peaceful. And you hover over this, and you got that hover state. Now you can see in this view that some of the elements are too big, and it's part of the polishing process. But for us, we're just laying down the groundwork for this. If we can go another step further here with the prototype, if I just move this off screen real quick, if we take all these elements and let's shift highlight that just to deselect those, Command G for grouping, and we're going to fix position when scrolling. I'm just going to right click, bring to front. Remember that. So if you fix something to position, make sure they're in a group, make sure they're at the front. Otherwise, it's going to disappear in the background. So if we bring this back over here, let's go full screen. All right. And then we can't scroll, so let's go ahead and open this up so we can scroll a little bit so you can see a little bit of the experience. Okay. And then we can come over here, and then you can see that that sticks to the top, which is great. That's great. And that's just a little bit of what you can do. I mean, a tiny bit of what you can do in XD. So I'm confident that if you've not used XD before, within 3 to 4 hours or less, if you're a savvy designer familiar with these tools to begin with, that you'd be able to come in here and create a web design very quickly, be able to prototype that very quickly. It's so nice, it's all inclusive, and you shouldn't really shy away from using it. So if you're a beginner with Adobe XD, I urge you to give it a shot. It's definitely an amazing tool with a lot of capabilities. All right, so that's going to do it for this video. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm excited to see what you might say about this in the comments down below. If you have questions, are you stuck? Let me know. I can see if I can help. As always, thanks for tuning in. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this in the future, and I will see you again next time. Until then, stay crafty.